Okay, Mrs. Castle here, and we are going to learn a couple of things in Sketchbook. Let me know if you don't have it on your desktop, and I will help you get it on your desktop. So I'm going to open that up. Oops. Going to select New Sketch, and the dimensions that are in there are fine. Then I need to put my photograph of my thumbnail in, and I'm going to choose this icon right there, and that will go to Photos, and I'm going to select the photo of the thumbnail that I want to use. I'm going to click Done. And then the next thing I would like you to do is to open up a new layer so you're not coloring right exactly on top of, that sketch. I'm going to click the plus, and that's going to give me another layer right here. Then I need a brush. I'm going to come over here to my library, and there are all kinds of brushes and tools that you can use. I would rather you not use the synthetic paint brushes. Those are going to look like watercolor, or not look like watercolor. They're going to look like acrylic paint, and it'll be too dark. I chose this watercolor brush that has the blue box around it. I'm going to continue using that one. And I need a color, so I'm going to come over here to the little ring of color at the bottom, and like you saw in the other example, I had that purple. I really don't want you to use all warm colors or all cool colors, so I'm going to start with that purple, and I'm going to put a little sample of it up at the top outside of my drawing, just in case. And I'm going to start painting in some circles. I chose to do all circles for mine, and I'm going to spread my color out a little bit. Oh, something I forgot to show you. Let's go over to that. Go back to our brush, and you notice I'm keeping my finger down, and this is one long. My finger stayed in contact with my iPad, and that made one layer of color. If I color in and then I pick up my finger and I color more, that's gonna like put two layers of that color on there, and it's gonna be darker. With watercolor, the white of the paper, that's not quite right. With watercolor, more water makes things lighter, but you have to have the water in it to begin with. You can't add water to the paper to make it lighter, and we'll talk about that more. But it kind of acts the same way in Sketchbook. So, but something to think about. For your settings on your brushes and pencils and markers and stuff, it's right here, and I'm going to touch that. I can make the opacity right here. If something is opaque, you can't see through it. And I can change the opacity of my color if I turn it way down. See how much lighter it is? So I'm going to leave that opacity at 100% for what I'm doing. If you choose a different brush and the color looks really intense, like if I change to it's like the tattoo inker brush, that's much darker. So for the settings on that one, it doesn't have opacity, but maybe it that dilution makes it lighter. So there are ways that you can change that too. So and I'm going to click undo to undo those. And where is that the right brush? No. I got to find my old brush. Go to library. Texture Essentials. There it is. Okay. So double check that if your color is super, super bright and you don't like it. So I'm just going to continue to add colors to this. Limit yourself to 4 plus white. And I know this paper, the photograph looks kind of gray. So if I want to show that I'm including white in my drawing or in my painting, or that I really want white in it, I'll show you what to do in just a second. Okay, so I'm going to go up to the color, and I'm going to go move that dot at the top way where I can slide the slider on the bottom. That's probably the easiest way. I'm going to take that and I'm going to paint in where I might like a white area. And don't go crazy with the white, but you can just do that to remind yourself that you want white here and there. And enlarge that. I'm going to put white there, and I'm going to put some white here. Some little sparkles of white. And I think I'm going to add a concentric circle there. Just to kind of spread things around a little bit. Okay. Now, once you paint, you cannot remove the color to make it white again. So think about those things ahead of time. Okay. Word to the wise. So, I'm going to keep going. Those are the basics that you need to know, except for how to save if you've never used this before. I'm going to come up to that little menu at the far left up there, and then I'm going to click Gallery and Save Current Sketch. And that's going to put it in your gallery. With this one, I picked colors between orange and purple. That's not all warm colors together, and it's not all cool colors together, so that's mixed up a little bit. On this one, I chose 2 sets of complements. I chose orange and blue, the orange and the turquoise, and I picked purple and yellow. And where the greens come from and that kind of reddish browns is where I layered 2 of my colors up on top of each other. So those are all in that green right there. Oops, I opened it up and I didn't mean to. So keep those things in mind. And this one looks really fuzzy because I had the drawing below turned off. My lines show there, they don't show there. So that's what my painting might look like, depending on what my craftsmanship is like on my painting. So those are the basics, and I'm going to save that current sketch again, and then I'm all done for today. Thanks a lot. Talk to you later.